Om Shanti. So, welcome all of you to the inner reflections and workshop on the art of communication. And as always, before we begin, today we dedicate this entire workshop to our very dear senior brother, Brother Brajmohan Bhai Sahab, who was the Secretary General of Brahma Kumaris, and he became Avyakt on the 9th of October. An excellent communicator himself. So let's just spend a moment in silence and dedicate this workshop to this angel who has left the body and is now with us in the subtle form. And let's move further, asking oneself, what is it that I need to develop in my art of communication? Am I a good listener? Am I a good communicator in the non-verbal sense? What are my thoughts towards others? My attitude towards others? And my perception about others? All of which form a very integral part of non-verbal communication. So from today's workshop, let's try to inculcate and try to take home some key takeaway points which help us in having an effective communication with each other. So as always, I'll just start sharing the slides. You can see we have covered almost 7 arts so far, and this is the 8th one, Art of Communicating. Sorry for the bit of delay which we had today. So we'll move on to the icebreaker video, a very beautiful one in this modern technology age of smartphones and digital gadgets. So many things science and technology has given us. So are we missing something in communication? So let's try to learn from this icebreaker video. As always, just carefully watch the video, and what insights you get, kindly put it down in the chat box. Okay. Indeed, a very wonderful video when I also saw it for the first time. So, any quick chat box sharings on the insights which you have from this video? Kindly share it. Yes, we have quite a few new people. Would want the new people to be more interactive and write down. Hope you have seen the video from the beginning. Okay. I hope the chat box is enabled. We'll just check that. Sometimes that's the problem. Yeah, I think it is.
It's just enabled. Yeah, people can.
It's enabled now. Okay. So people can just quickly mention in the chat box. We have 2 minutes left. In the day and age of mobile technology, what could you think from this video gave you an insight into? Okay. Yes, finally, thank you, Kavita, for starting. It's a relief that someone has at least mentioned something. Yes, the loss of one-on-one interaction. Excellent. Yes. Any other people who are inspired to write something would be good. Okay, so we'll give you 1 more minute. And if not, then we'll go into the exercises directly. We normally don't take oral chat box share, oral share, not chat box, oral sharings for the icebreaker because of paucity of time. Okay, so no worries. The one and only sharing was the loss of one-on-one human interaction. And there's one more coming up. Harpreet is saying connect and share your energy. Wow, great. So with this, we'll pass it on. Okay, sorry, now you're turning up. Right, Elizabeth says we have lost our loving way. Yes, Rena Ben is saying devices or no device. Communication can't be forced. Yes, indeed. It has to be a deviceless communication. And here we go into non-verbal communication and into Brahma Kumaris in the journey of Raj Yoga. We are taught more to work on our thoughts and attitude. And tomorrow's spiritual class is fully on that, the Sunday spiritual class which we have. How to work on your attitudes and vibrations. Gita is saying people are happier when groups are there. Sorry, where groups are there. Yes. Right. And we could see that the children without the mobile were much more happier than the adults on the mobile in the video. Well, good. A good start. And over to Sister Anu for the next exercise. Thank you all of you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Manoj brother. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, beautiful video, by the way. So we don't realize something that when we see, we realize. And Brother Manoj very beautifully said that how children were more happy. You could see that, and they're not with the mobile. So we'll quickly summarize what Sister Manda shared. And she shared many deeper aspects, and definitely, and that bringing together the attitudes, vibrations, non-verbal communication, and intentions in communications. She mentioned that we have to share honestly, and I and so that I can empower others to share honestly, I have to be shared honestly. So the important few aspects she discussed, one is the clarity of understanding. She said clarity is compassion. I have to make sure that what I am communicating is clear. So the more everything becomes clear, natural, and easy, the less energy it takes. So from your end, you are not feeling depleted of energy as you are sharing, or for a task we are communicating, talking. For that, I have to have it clear for myself, and then clearly I communicate. As we all know, lack of communication creates a lot of conflicts. In communication, it is very important to articulate clearly in terms of what you want someone to do, why you want them to do it, and what you expect. will be the result of that task or activity. If we can always keep our aim on the goal, the result, and then what and somebody has to do or what I have to do, how clearly we can delegate or clearly explain. When we go deep into a topic and ask questions like, what does this feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? So it is about bringing clarity to myself first before I am sharing with others. Then only I can see the expected result and accordingly what and why somebody has to do. So, can I sit with anything, even any situation that is not clear to me? Sit for a minute to experience how is it feeling like or what it smells like in the physicality, what image it comes in front of you so that the shift can happen, the clarity can come. When we understand something clearly, we can then put it in place as well as communicate clearly. She mentioned about few of the communication types. Communication in Latin means to share, to make it common. So now, as we always also say, to be on the same page. Communication happens through visual that you are seeing. So whatever I am speaking through my body language, speaking and body language, vibrations that you are feeling, that I'm carrying, the feeling that is other one is feeling too, experiencing, energy behind the words, intention of sharing. They're all as a package goes from me and other person is experiencing, listening or getting that message. So we perceive things through the filter of our own experiences. Also, like one aspect is when someone is sharing something, and the other is what is picked up from what is being shared. What I am saying, and what is that I am, showing visually through all these aspects. But what the other person is understanding, is he or she picking up what I am sharing? As we all know, I have my own perspective, or through my experiences, I understand something that may not be the same meaning. The powerful example sister shared was Dadi Janki when she would enter a room in silence without saying anything. She would send powerful vibrations of peace, love, and the same invokes inside of you. So it's a part of vibration, the intention behind that we are carrying, and that people pick up, and that makes them feel that way. Dadi Janki, our former head of the organization, we all know her very lovingly, Dadi Janki. And in contrast, you can speak a lot but say nothing. No experience is felt by those who listen. So vibration is very values of communication. When someone speaks, 60% of the communication is through vibration, higher percentage, and about only 8% is being registered for of what they speak. So let's be mindful. Let's check ourselves that we are speaking, but what is being taken. Our relationship with everyone should be harmonious, and this is possible with the way in which we share with people. So maybe paying attention to the vibration and making it more clear, peaceful, loving. So that decides if it would be a harmonious communication. In order to communicate with those who are your elders, sister said, we need respect. Respect in just not in words you are speaking, but you are honoring who they are as individuals. And it is again, yeah, they are seniors, but it's for every person. We have to honor the individual and what they have to bring to the table. Those who are your equals, we have to relate to them with humility and with youngers with love. Integrity in communication and relationship is also important. So I have to see that what I'm communicating, and also I'm honoring the connection relationship. In the time of others' difficulty, how are we communicating with them? Are we empathetic or sympathetic? So empathize means we are with them. they feel our support and power. And sympathy means we can put them down, or it's like I'm also feeling their difficult energy. So there's no empowerment. Wipe your mind clean. Sister Manda gave a powerful tool method that communication is sharing and listening to. It is two ways. So we have to pause and give time to listen to others as well, how they're feeling, and accordingly change what I'm sharing. But when conversation is building, it is about going deeper and having realizations. Information has to be articulated well. Cohesiveness has to be there, where my understanding, words, and practice are in alignment. That's cohesiveness. And also important aspect is that don't carry any past experience into present moment. Meet with people as if you're meeting first time. Can I do that? And for that, if there are any negative thoughts or past negative experiences, it's important to wipe it out. So in the spiritual practice, can I keep my mind clean? Let it go to the past. So a quote from Sister Manda's sharing, the only thing we have to learn to communicate is soul, honoring everyone as a soul, individual, and myself. Few questions. How can one develop, I'm not able to see the top. So, yeah, how listening is about practice. So, so many tools to learn, conferences and all to listen effectively, but I have to listen, feel, and see what other person is sharing. Giving that silence and deeper observation from my end is important. As a spiritual person, how can we remain neutral instead of picking sides? And so many things happening in the world. What is important is to remain neutral, concentrated. For staying neutral, be concentrated, focused, and balanced. Like Dadi Janki, no matter what's happening, can I be stable? And for that, also not taking sides means if I take sides, I have handed over my power to the other one. This is the time in the confluence to be unbiased and non-judgmental. In this state lies power. I'm not judging the other one. I'm trying to listen what is that they're sharing and where it can go to a peaceful solution. How to see yet not see. Even if something wrong is happening in front of me, it is the same principle to see but not get entangled. So this is no matter what's happening in the world, see it as a detached observer, neutral. And if I can be peaceful, I can send the peace, not get into. Okay. So that's all from Sister Manda's sharing. Now I'll hand it over to Sister Denise for the next.
Thank you, Anuben. We've heard so much about communication, and even in the icebreaker video, the soul that wasn't communicating, even that is a form of communication. And I'm making a little assumption here that all of us want to have more harmonious communication. It's something that every soul on the planet has to do, is communicate. So in this exercise, we're going to think of a situation where we had easy, nice, flowing, harmonious communication with someone else, an interaction that left you feeling satisfied, that left you feeling like that was successful, that left you feeling good. So let's take a couple of minutes to just think on that situation. Okay, I hope everyone has come up with a scenario and is feeling that they would like to communicate. So please unmute and share if you feel to. This is an interactive workshop, so I'm just looking, and thank you, Dr. Manoj, for helping me with this. If someone has something to share, please go ahead. What was the scenario? What was the elements that made the communication harmonious for you? Please go ahead, and if not, in the chat.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm
Hi.
from Haiti.
Thank you.
There's a lot of noise where I am, so that's why I wanted to send a message on my chat instead. But since I have to talk, I wanted to share my experience. I had, for me, what made me really able to understand and listen to the other, it was with no emotions. Like there were no emotions involved. I was really I really wanted to understand, but with I had no emotions coming up. I was zen, peaceful, and really I really wanted to understand what was happening with that person. So I was able to listen to what that person was saying and understand. But I had no emotions coming up. And I really had I was willing the will to really listen to what was going on. And when we finally communicated, nothing I can say negative came up. It's like it wasn't a will for me to make him understand what was going on inside of me, or what if I was mad or not. No, it wasn't about me. It was only about that person that was in front of me. So that's what gave me the ability to communicate in a healthy way with that person.
Right.
Because usually I'm a very hyper person.
Yes.
So
So, yeah. So your will and your intention before you approached the person was very strong to have an effective communication, and setting your emotions
yes,
aside and putting the other person
exactly.
first. Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing. That's very,
All right. You're welcome. Sorry for the noises.
no, I didn't hear any. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so in the chat, thank you. In the chat, we have non-judgmental attitude, active listening, respect for the person speaking, which piggybacks on what Elizabeth was saying also. And if you don't listen, you can't understand anything. So that's really important. I think that's from Amparo. Dr. Tiguida says active listening without any distraction. So no phone, no emailing, so being completely present. Being present to listen without any judgmental attitude. So everyone has mentioned not having a judgmental attitude. Anil Singh says the sharing of information. So in his scenario, the clear sharing of information helped it to be a harmonious communication. Awesome. So does anyone else we have a little bit of time here. So please take this chance to be courageous and communicate what you would like to share from your reflection.
Om Shanti, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Hilal. Thank
I
you.
want to share one experience, May. say a lot of the things that we revised in a family gathering, extended family gathering with my, blood family, let's say, physical. I was really badly reprimanded, and out of the anger of that family member, rolled a glass of water to my face in the crowd, and I'm like this, and then I was wet. But later I thought about it, and what I want to share is that I wasn't in the center. I was very deeply heard the words that my sister was upset about, not my words, that her words and also her action of throwing water towards me is that she was so furious about the situation that even the words wasn't enough to express her agony, sorrow, that even physically wanted to throw luckily water. So in essence, what I summed up that we are blessed when difficult conversations are thrown at us, but not to us, to me. It was their situation. So, and communication, I think, takes that kind of listening.
Wow, that is very powerful, listening and accommodating and tolerance. Wow. I mean, so ultimately, you did your very best in that communication to be the very best. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Hilal. Wow. And Dr. Anu says she says maintaining her peace and listening attentively and with respect for the
Alors,
person
elle a dit que
and what they're saying. Beg your pardon? And Harpreet is sharing that patience, being present and peaceful. And they also reflect what Hilal was sharing there, all of those qualities. So we have a couple more minutes if anyone else wants to share, I believe. Or do we? Maybe not. Maybe one final sharing. Okay, and Maninder Singh says, thank you very much for sharing. I feel that one's sense of emotional security also contributes to how we can bring non-judgmental attitude to our honest conversation. So it's important to bring that security in our mind. What are your thoughts regarding this? Yeah, I think having self-respect and being secure in ourselves is really important so that we don't come into conflict, because then we're less triggered by what someone else says. All beautiful sharings, and I think the time is... Thank you, Maninda. Should we continue, Dr. Manoj?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I'll just share my screen.
I think let's take the sharing slide, don't want. But also I have just one thing to mention here outside of this is the Spanish translation is not being heard clearly. So sister, I sent a chat, but if you're using headphone, please remove. And if you're not using headphone, can you speak loud and closer to your computer? This is for sister who is translating Spanish.
Good. So thank you, Deepak Bhai, for sharing the slide. So just in summary, being non-judgmental, all of you all are saying active listening, respect for the person, And also very important, my inner state of being, maintaining my peaceful demeanor, being patient, and also being present for the person. And also lastly, someone nicely mentioned about how emotional security. And Elizabeth Sophie mentioned that she was being totally non-emotional. That is also being non-judgmental in one way, not allowing your emotions to take over, listening to someone else's difficult situation. So there shows that you're also emotionally secure. Right. So I'll just stop sharing. Thank you, Deepak Bhai. I'll just start sharing my screen. And let's go further and see what Sister Debbie. I think Sister Debbie had a profound uh, conversation with all of y'all. Her slides were too massive. There's many things mentioned on it. But what I remember, she started and she mentioned that Sister Manda also had done this, like 4 common things. I'll just read out. The first thing is, which Sister Anu already covered, that the meaning of communication is to share something in common. That's communi. It comes from that. Second, communication happens all the time. It happens through your eyes, through your lips, through your ears, through your attitude. So it's a big topic. Third, which I'll cover, words are secondary to our energy and vibrations. And that's again such a divine coincidence. We're all speaking about vibrations and vibrations today. And tomorrow, particularly the regular Brahma Kumari Rajyogi students, you'll come to this tomorrow's spiritual class. The divine speaks about all this. He's saying that how you can change the vibrations and the atmosphere around you by really taking care of your attitude. And that was the first question which you all did in the workshop. That what should be my attitude towards having an effective communication or harmonious. And the fourth thing which Sister Manda was going round and round in circles was actions speak louder than words. So these are the 4 things. These are the 4 things which were mentioned. Okay, so as I started, that words are secondary. So she was in the reflective mode. So there'll be a lot of questions. We are just revising those questions again. She started with this, that how do you usually respond to your body when it communicates to you the soul? So the body can feel everything only because of the presence of the soul inside the body. And how does that communication happen? And she gave us a beautiful glimpse of that by saying, start from the toes down and go up to the top, the head. And she said, try to thank all the body parts for their messages. And tell yourself, I'm okay, even if I'm not okay. For example, if there is pain in any part of the body, so that part may not be okay for some time. But it's that body part which is not okay. But I, the soul, am still perfect and okay. And a beautiful way to allude to in the form of a baking thing, that when someone is baking, so 5 things which the ingredients of an effective communicator are, and that will reflect my communication style. So am I like a measuring spoon or a cup, which means am I a questioner all the time? That doesn't mean it's not good, but asking the right questions at the right time. Second is, am I like the other ingredients? Which means I have the knowledge and the information about the subject, and I need to get the job done. So that means, am I a source? That's the second style. Third is, am I like the bowl where all the ingredients, the dry and the wet ingredients, are all mixed together? So which means, am I like a summarizer, which means coming out with summaries in conversation, like we say, minutes of the meeting. So am I like that? Or am I like the mixing spoon, which is blending everything? So the wet and dry ingredients are there in the bowl, but I am the synthesizer, helping to blend everything together, which means listening to the pros and cons of every side and trying to synthesize from that. Synthesizer. And the last but not the least is an active listener. And here she mentioned about the sifter or the filter, which we mentioned. So all of us, I must say, our perception is our filter. We look at each other through our perception, through our filter. So it's very commonly said that if I wear a green glass, everything will look around, whatever I look at will look green. But doesn't necessarily mean that everything is green. It's because I have worn a green glass. So here it was like working as a sifter or a filtering mechanism. And that she mentioned was an active listener. So she said, ask yourself all these questions and try to pinpoint what you are. And then, having considered that, reorder the 5 most typical for you to the least typical. So from those 5 which we just showed you all, which is the most which you commonly use and which is the one which you don't use very often. So that is we call atypical. And probably it varies depending on these 4 things, depending on the circumstance, in Hindi paristhiti, depending on your culture, the way you are brought up, an Eastern culture, Western culture, open-minded culture, closed conservative culture, depending on your conditioning, the way you are raised at home, at school, your family, friends, your peers, etc., etc., and depending on, very important, your capacity. So all of us, those 5 which I mentioned, we can play different roles at different times and depending on these things which I mentioned. And then she said, now think if this is the best role for you. And if yes, it is the best role which you feel is best for you, how could you refine it further in your art? And if this is not the best role, then what would you want to do so that you can develop new ways of co-creating understanding in your communication? So it was a beautiful eye-opener for all of us. And the way she explained with those baking corollaries was really an innovative way of trying to work on your art of communication. I think I have 6 more minutes. Sorry, I'm a bit pressed with time. Okay, then she went on to say, again, I'll cover these questions. And as we go on these questions, just keep thinking because it's just 1 week ago we did the workshop. We know this proverb, actions speak louder than words. So here she said, think about a recent conversation with yourself or one another or in a group. So it could be anything. We covered this in the first activity where we said it was harmonious. But here it is just any recent conversation, maybe negative, maybe positive. So what did we feel, understood or misunderstood? What body language, signals, facial expressions? So all these are what we call the encouraging gestures or disapproving gestures, which we use in our Vihasa workshops in something called compassionate listening. So how was my body language? And finally, the third is, how did it help or harm the level of respect which I had for the person? And was there clarity or accuracy in that communication which was shared? So let us just check those because actions speak louder than words. And here, then she went on to mention that now I know what I am, what type of communication style do I portray. And from the last exercise, we said that in a recent conversation, we now see ourselves how we are. So is there any scope for editing? Which means, do I have to change somewhere? Yes, of course, there's obviously always a chance to improve on. So what could you do to edit your actions, your body posture, your facial expression? Vibrations again are coming here, which will help in demonstrating that you are respecting every soul you interact with. So that's first. And second is, how can you direct your body to help work towards shared understanding with clarity and alignments of thoughts? So though my mind has a lot of clarity, my thoughts are aligned with the person whom I'm communicating with. But can I do something which will direct my body to accordingly portray that inside stuff. Because sometimes people say, oh, I'm clear in my communication in my head. But your body language, your body posture may not really portray that. So have I got any scope to improve on that? So that was the second question. And then the last, again, as we say, ART, awareness, realization, and takeaway. So in the takeaway, she said, let's look at, in Hindi, we say Swaman. And in English, it's one affirmative practice, which I can, start working on from today. And in that, again, two questions. First is, what patterns of communication do I want to shift or strengthen in moving towards any shared communication? So what patterns? So we heard those 5 different communication styles, but anything else you want to add in your pattern, feel free to think about it. And second, what is one small change I can start today, practicing today, as a listener or a sender in the art of communication? So it's important that, yes, we all of us say that we are good listeners. People say that. Even I may say that. And I always give this example that right from childhood, we are taught public speaking courses because people are afraid of speaking in public or giving a lecture, so on. So there is a lot of fear about stage fear, we say, so many things. So people are taught about public speaking. That's very important in communication. But I always ask people from childhood, are we really taught the art of listening to someone properly? And particularly when we say listening, it's active listening, being there fully for the person. And as someone recently in the sharing also mentioned, being present. And present means not physically, but through your mind and intellect. Because otherwise, I may start my own journey listening to someone's problem or something. And as rightly Elizabeth pointed, can I really take care of my emotions? Can I be emotionally stable listening to that person? My mind should not be up and down. And also, someone beautifully alluded that emotional security also. Am I secure enough? So, what is that one change which I can start practicing? So, this was the one, these were the things which we have to reflect on, quite a few questions. So, with this, I'll stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Anu. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj brother. Yes, very deep insights we all can take in, and I really loved it too, that emotional security for the self first, and also caring for the other ones, as we can see from their body language, or if we can see the feeling, if they're feeling not respected, by the way. So emotional security, that's respect for them and respect for myself. I'm also mentioning in the chat that if you are new today, newly joined today, and you are not in our contact list, please send your email ID and WhatsApp number so that we can add you and you can receive the review material of today's session as well as upcoming programs. And Sister Harpreet in the chat box is asking, what is the full form of art? That's awareness, realization, and takeaway. That's exactly what in the inner reflection, Sister Judy and Sister Debbie take us through. So this whole 4 sessions we do on each art is to bring our awareness about the art and then take time to deeply realize ourselves and then take away, apply it. Okay, so we are ready for the next exercise. So we have been talking about, I love it too, every sunrise is a chance to try again, something to change a bit in my actions. It's about me, and about others only can I be non-judgmental and keep the respect. But what is that I can notice in me and make the change? So the exercise will be the action planning exercise takeaway for me, enhancing respect in communication. Let's take a minute to think of a situation that escalated into an argument. So it didn't go well as we envisioned, expected, what we wanted to communicate, but focused to a different direction. All have experiences of that as well. So let's bring to our attention only one situation where it was negative. It escalated into an argument. So now, if you have remembered one situation, then let's reflect on the situation in terms of two aspects. Number one, what message was I sending through my body language or facial expressions? We will scan through or see ourselves in that situation. What was the message I was sending through my body language or facial expressions? Number two, how did I help or harm the level of respect for the other person while sharing my part? A minute. In silence. Please check and write down for yourself, and we can share it. Okay, so if we have figured it out, then let's move to the next part of the exercise. Now again, reflect on and write down what changes you would bring in your expressions and actions to demonstrate respect for the other. I hope we all are together here. You're with me. So if we have figured out and written what change I'll bring in my expression and action or words, the way I spoke, my verbal and non-verbal communication, then let's take another minute just to see the situation playing out in a very positive way, where you are doing the actions with your renewed, changed way. I think this way it's important to play it out. Like Sister Manda said, we have to wipe it. And we take the realization for the self and play out with our positive way, how I could have played it out. That dissolves from my mind. That's how I out. And as I was seeing through for myself, one word came very clear for me: patience. I didn't have patience. Can I be more patient and let the other person express fully? And as we say, wait for your time, don't interrupt. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure we all have some realizations. What change practically you would like to take for yourself to demonstrate respect for the person? That is respecting the self that is in my own dignity. Dr. Manoj has shared in the chat expressions of love, acceptance, and cooperation, actions of benevolence, and uplifting everyone despite their shortcomings. So it's seeing beyond shortcomings. Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. We would love to hear from you if you can unmute and speak. What occurred, what you could catch that you'll take in every interaction from now onwards. Geeta Gupta says, carrying preconceived notions about each other, which unmatched. We live in the diversity, we have to respect. Anybody who'd like to unmute and speak? They're beautiful sharing in the chat. I can read in the meantime. Elizabeth says, when I take everything personally, that is, I am so attached to my, perceived images, to what I want to, and I project that, how I want it to be perceived, what I'm saying, or how I am perceiving differently. I feel hurt, and I I feel hurt and I snap. I harm myself and the other. So with my words and actions, it's very difficult for me to be respectful in these situations because I feel disrespected. The emotional security we have to work on. I think the next part of the workshop will be doing that, how the soul consciousness and the source God consciousness can help. Denise says, for me also patience, but also checking in with myself and communicating kindly that this was not the right time for me to talk about the issue. Make a different time. Method. Anyone who would like to share? We want to hear from. Vibrations in your words. Yes?
Anu, shall I share?
Yes, please, Brahma sister.
Okay, so what I think is, if you are listening for understanding the other person's perspective, okay, and if you have a genuine interest in what the other person is saying, even if it doesn't make any, it is of no use to you, okay, then the communication can be, efficient. And talking about respect, if your definition of respect is, okay, the other person has to be walking on eggshells when you're around, then that is not the definition of respect, that is control. Okay, what you need from that person is to be able to control that person, and that communication is not a very healthy communication, in my opinion. So what I would say is, have a genuine interest and accept them however they are. And another important thing is just check out whether what this person is saying is reasonable. Since nobody is perfect, if they're reasonable, okay, then okay, it is good to communicate with that person. And what they're sharing is important, then it is really important for you to, take out time and have the patience to be listening. And that is what I believe.
Nice. First step is if you want to understand. So I think the paying attention to understand their perspective, their emotion, they are sharing what they want to share. But then, well, I think reasonable or not, again, I don't know, like that's a deeper subject to think about. I'm not judging, but maybe I can have patience to listen, and I will see if I can be a part or I can help or not. I think maybe my values, my time, but not disrespecting. But yeah, first step is understanding and then deciding if my patience or not. Thank you, Rena. Thank you. Anyone else? I know many people are putting in the chat today. So Harmony House Mauritius says active listening. What is hidden in the argument? What I need to change in me for a harmonious relationship? I think that's the wisest thing in me because I have full control on me, not on others. Thank you. What change can I bring? Maninder, brother, you would like to share? Speak.
No, it was more of a question.
I
So
see.
like, yeah, and also I was sharing a feeling like I feel that we should stick to the basic principles of respectfulness. Using kind words and being compassionate and wiping away any old experiences. However, we shouldn't think too much about what other person may perceive, right? And because people can feel disrespectful at anything, like, right? So, we should not think much about how they will react. Otherwise, we won't be able to put forward our point out of fear of their reaction. So I was trying to understand what communication principle can be quoted in this regard, and how does this relate to the subject in hand today? Thank you.
Good question. I think again, as we you can go deeper into looking into the summaries of both sisters shared. I think I have to be clear. I'm convinced what I have understood, and with clarity, not hurting anyone's respect, but well, I don't have to think about others. If I'm clear and I'm passionate about it, and in a very humble way, respectful way, I'm sharing, I'm okay. People may not understand it or take it right way, then it's okay. Also, like again, we have to choose peace and respect from my end so that it doesn't escalate into argument. But I have to still clearly share. That's how I think.
Thank you.
Anything more from Brother Manoj, then he can put light into it. The principle has to be I'm clear first, like Sister Manda's sharing. Sit with it. What is that, and what is the expected result you're wanting, and respectfully pass it. In Brahma Kumaris also we say that say your part, your idea, it's taken or not taken, it's okay. Leave it or be happy. Like it doesn't make me happy if it is accepted. It doesn't make me unhappy if it is not accepted. It's okay. It's not the time at this. Okay. I don't know if anyone else want to share. Otherwise, we're ready to wrap up. And this is deeper understandings and reflections on ourselves. Let's take home practice. I would ask Brother Deep to share the slides we have. Having genuine interest, understanding, respecting the other person, and taking out time, being patient and helping. So we shouldn't carry our preconceived notions about the other person. Then we can be respectful. We can focus on the present conversation. What is that I need to change in me to bring harmony in the relationship, and then the conversation can be peaceful. Expressions of love, acceptance, and cooperation in action. It should have benefit and uplifting for others, no matter how much shortcomings they have. Shouldn't take personally. Respecting the self is most important, I think, and we have to work on that. And allowing others to take it as they want. It's okay, they're not disrespecting me. Sister Dennis says, yeah, patience, but also reschedule the conversation another time if I'm not ready. And Maninder brother said, yeah, should I keep checking about others? No, I think it is mostly for me, peaceful, respectful, and trying to understand a conversation and helping as much as I can. Thank you everyone. I think we'll wrap up the exercise here. I think there are some sharings. If I'm missing anything, I'm just checking. So what is next? We would now do the announcement. We'll do our silence retreat next week. So all that thought-provoking, experiences we got today, let's take home to, explore further and join us in the silence retreat. We can internalize what we are learning here. Oh yeah, before that, meditation. Sorry, Manoj brother, up forward. We need that right now.
Okay, so hope we have time. We have 10 more minutes. Okay, so I'll just share the screen and request all of you now to move into the essence. We've really spoken a lot, discussed a lot, but let's move into the essence now. And as always, let's go within. Taking a deep breath in and out. Relaxing our body first. And then stabilizing the consciousness. Who am I? I'm this tiny, conscient being of light energy. Carrying within myself all the virtues and powers which I need for effective communication. Let me look at my thoughts. The very first component of any communication. What are my thoughts towards everyone whom I'm interacting with? What is my attitude? Which is a collective consciousness of my thoughts towards that person. Do I radiate good feelings and pure wishes for them as well? Next, I check on what is my belief system towards the person in front of me. Are my beliefs colored by my past experiences? Or I meet everyone with a clean slate of my mind? And finally, what is my perception or perspective about others? So the more and more I connect myself to the Supreme Being, everything starts falling in place for me. Because my attitude changes. It's full of benevolence now and good wishes for everyone. And my perception also changes towards each and every soul I'm interacting with. I let go of the past, empower myself with the Supreme Being connection, and look at a new future to develop more harmonious relationships by communicating effectively. So with this short reflection, stop sharing this screen and over to Sister Anu for the announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. Yes. So upcoming is our silence retreat on art of communication next Saturday, 18th of October, 1.5 hours, 7 a.m. for West Coast, US, Canada, 7:30 p.m. for India, and accordingly, all the timings. And we'll have translation in French, Hindi, Portuguese, and Spanish. This is based on the Brahma Kumaris teachings. Everyone is welcome to join. And then we will start our next art of leading. After our communication is clear, we ourselves are clear how to communicate and bring peaceful solutions, then we can lead. And that would be Saturday, 25th of October, same time, 7 a.m. For West Coast and 7:30 p.m. for India. And we'll have Mike George from UK. He is an author, spiritual coach, and management tutor. And yeah, he will bring beautiful insights into this art. So join us then. We have this calendar for October month. Whoever are in our contact list, you will be receiving it in the emails. And you can write to us. These are our email IDs. And check us out on vihasa.in or vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. All the videos, including today's video, would be on the YouTube channels of both Vihasa India and Vancouver Brahma Kumaris. Thank you, everyone. And before we close with a song, a beautiful video on the subject on communication, we can have a picture. If we all want to have a picture together, you can please open up your videos and let's, okay. Snap. Anyone? More? Okay, I go. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Very grateful for this moment. Let's now enjoy.
Gracias.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Baba. Gracias todos.
We have to still enjoy this song together and reflect through what we learned today. Take away.
Every word bears your signature. Communication can help you heal the past, enjoy the present, and prepare the grounds for a good future. Words can travel 1,000 miles. May your words create love and understanding. May they be like beautiful flowers in God's garden. Build trust, be a rock in a river. Start with yourself. Loving yourself is the basis for compassion. Be present in the moment, meditate. Stop, connect, recharge with the ocean of power and love. Put compassion into our world. Listen deeply and help create moments of joy and happiness at His Venus. Words can travel 1,000 miles. May your words create love and understanding. understanding. May they be like beautiful flowers in God's garden. Love is born from understanding. Be happy, share your happy vibes. Your words are nourishment for your soul. Right speech, loving, truthful communication brings peace to all. Tell the truth, be consistent. My mantra, I am a peace messenger. Words can travel 1,000 miles. May your words create love and understanding. May they be like beautiful flowers in God's garden. Listen with compassion and prescribe the right medicine. The best gift you can give others is I'm here for you. So listen to your inner child. Write love letters to yourself and find reasons to hug yourself. Words can travel 1,000 miles. May your words create love and understanding. May they be like beautiful flowers in God's garden.
Thank you, everyone. See you again. Thank you, Harmony House Mauritius. There you go. From so far, we connect. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful. See you.
Yeah, this is a retreat center, Diamond Retreat House. So at my back, the ocean just after crossing the road. All welcome. Shanti.
Shanti. Thank you. Shanti, everyone. Bye now. See you. See you soon.